Hello. So first, I just want to do an audio check just to make sure that everyone can hear me clearly. So if I can have just maybe one or two people type in if me. Okay, so hello. I see there's a number of people here. The connection is a little unstable. I don't know why this is happening. I'm going to double check with IT in the future just to make sure this doesn't continue. Is being recorded as well. I would like to just kind of give you a quick rundown. So for this upcoming week, we do have chapters 10, 11, 13, 14, and 15. So I know there's a lot of material. I upload the recording from yesterday's on-ground tutoring session. So it's the video over to me, but I did post that information. So this is on leukemias, lymphomas. Chapter 13, chapter 15 focuses on blood flow disorders. So with chapter 10, just to kind of get started, as I explained in class this week, I am not going to the recorded on-ground tutoring session that I just posted. So I don't want to make it feel like another lecture. This particular tutoring session is going to be geared more towards answering your questions. So if there's any particular topics that you may have, this is more of a Q&A session. So if you guys can just type in, your particular question and I can answer it. But I will just give a quick rundown. So again, chapter 10, we have 4 different types of hypersensitivity disorders. On the outline I provided for you in class, you are to focus on the different types, the names, what cells are actually taking part of it, the mechanism that is occurring with that particular topic, the time frame that's associated with it, and definitely the examples. So in the outline, I did post, or I should say, but I did type to please make sure you pay attention to the examples, because the examples will help you in the future. When it comes to chapter 11, this covers leukemias and lymphomas. There's a lot of information here. So again, please pay attention to what is in the outline. In the outline, please focus on the first 12 slides of the PowerPoint, because it gives some background information just on leukemias and lymphomas when they are getting into a cancer. Because I did also provide for you a spreadsheet, an Excel spreadsheet, which was more of a study guide for each and every leukemia and lymphoma. On that spreadsheet, it is going to focus on all the different types of cancers, leukemias and lymphomas. And I also have it color coded, with the hallmark. Anything, the actual PowerPoint, or looking at the spreadsheet that was provided, the study guide. Okay, so I do have a question. Madison, I have a really connection with the PowerPoint portion. It won't load, so I'm just going to throw my question out there. Okay, so Madison's having understanding your question. You're having a connection issue with. Okay, sorry. I'm just a little confused on. Okay, so Madison, in chapter 14, when you say focus on testing, do you mean the table on slide 8? Also chapter 14, are there inherited disorders that we need to know on slide 16? So to answer your question, Madison, for chapter 14, when it comes to testing, I do want you to know, and I can't remember exactly which slide it is on the slides, or I should say the slide that covers the blood coagulation assessment, INR, why we test for APTT. So I do want you to know why that, some people like to look at the numbers. It makes them, feel better. But I am not testing you on the numbers, but I just want to make you aware that the blood clotting assessment, those need you to know what they're being performed on, basically. Okay. Let me see, Madison, if I'm inherited disorder. As far as chapter 14, it is important to make sure you know just what I put there on the outline that I gave in class. So focus on testing, focus on the acquired disorders, focus on hemophilia. There are other inherited disorders. I don't know what slide you're saying, slide 16, maybe it is there, I'm not sure. But I would put more emphasis on hemophilia as far as inherited. And then also please pay attention to DIC. Okay. I'm sorry, there's a lot of comments coming in. Let me just try to manage this a little better. So Madison, oops, what did I do? Okay, that's fine. Yes, I apologize about this connection issue. I like this setup, but I don't know if it's my computer or, maybe it's just this YouTube live. I will figure this out so we don't have this issue in the future. But what I would say is make sure that, just type in your question and I'll be able to take care of it. Okay. Latara, yes, the live stream continues to pause and play. Yes, it's happening for everyone, unfortunately. So Madison, you have another part to your question. In chapter 3, many of something, I'm confused as to what's like. Okay, so excuse me one second. So as far as what's lacking in is, yes, it's something in particular, or it depends on the topic, because for example, relative polycythemia is due to dehydration, so lacking, fluids. So the point here is maybe you shouldn't get hung up on what's lacking so much, but maybe a better term I could use is to look at what is the possible risk factor etiology that's leading to it. So maybe that's the better term. So let's just switch what's lacking to what is the risk factor or etiology. And that could be something that's lacking, or, whatever the actual cause is. So hopefully that helps you, Madison, just to clear that up. You're getting kicked out, bad connection, streaming keeps stopping. I know, Patrick, that's what probably it is, Patrick. Okay. Part of it is the people joining, and then it's going back and forth. So if everyone joins before 8. Okay, I see. So maybe what I'll do in the future is just have you guys all in the room at 8, and then, maybe I'll show up a little later to make sure it works out. But yeah, that makes sense, Patrick. Thank you for that. It looks like people that are joining and back and forth. To continue, I forgot, where did I stop? Yeah, we can just, yeah, I don't know what to do. So what I'm going to do is try to, I'm explaining. If you guys have any questions, just go ahead and type your questions. Okay. With chapter causes or risk factors for those anemias, in most cases with anemias, it is going to be some sort of lack of some. When we have polycythemias, they're going to be some sort of the body's way of, that has COPD, they are lacking oxygen or not enough oxygen, that's flowing. So therefore the body's going to start to increase red blood cell count. So there's going to be some sort of deficiency, basically, that's leading to this. So I would say pay attention to the the cause, risk factor, whereas the possible risk factors, that's leading to that particular anemia or polycythemia. When it comes to 14, as I was just explaining earlier with Madison's question, please make sure you focus on just what I have in the actual outline. So as far as the testing, it is important to know what the tests are used for. A person having, let's say, a family history or something, or what am I, the word I'm looking for? So a person that may have a pre-existing condition, maybe medication history, whatever the case may be that's leading to it, but not like an exact hereditary disorder. However, with a hereditary disorder, please make sure you focus on here. It is definitely marked by bleeding first. So I just want to clarify that. And then the body clots, and then bleeding it back and forth. With 15, we have blood flow disorders. So here in the outline I gave you, were to focus on what's the difference between arterial venous blockage, what's the difference between thrombosis, varicose veins, Berger's disease, Raynaud syndrome, and lymphedema. So what you have in the outline should be your guide as to when you're looking at the PowerPoints and videos, so you'll know exactly what areas to focus on, as well as when you're reading the chapters as well, to focus on those areas that are also printed in the outline. Okay, so at this point, I know the connection is kind of, weird, but if anyone has any questions, remember this is definitely a Q&A session. So if you have any questions on any topics, this is the time that I will entertain. Okay, no one has any, not Thursday. What is today? Today's Thursday. For the Wednesday on-ground tutoring will be more like when I do this YouTube live situation. This is more of just, because again, as I said, I don't want both tutoring sessions to feel like another lecture, because I think we have enough like lecture videos. Just to kind of wrap this up, I do want to make a few announcements, because I noticed that this connection is going back and forth and I am losing some people. So just to kind of wrap this up, next week's quiz, next week's quiz, we will have somewhere between 25 to 30 questions. You guys know the routine. I'm definitely going to have, and then have our quiz at the very end of class. I will be around this weekend. I'll be on campus this weekend because I need to update my videos, and the ones that I wanted to update for this week, I didn't get a chance. My Monday through Thursday would find the time to handle that. But I just want to make you guys aware that, there's going to be some updates coming through as soon as I get the technology, together, and I just write before I, present it to you. So I will update you that information. If for some reason, because I did have this issue, and turn up the volume and see if that works for you. For some reason you can't hear the video at all, and you should be able to watch some of the previous lecture videos that I have. I do have a backup when it comes to videos. classroom. So if you ever need a backup, go to YouTube, type in my first and last name, and then you can just kind of scroll through and find the chapter that you need. And that way you can, watch just in case if you have any issues with Blackboard or the audio or whatever the case may be, because sometimes question we should, I would know that. So we have the, I can't remember which one it was now, but the one that bulges one side, the one that bulges on both sides, and then we have the false aneurysm, which is just more like a tear type thing. So it's just a matter of knowing, just a quick description of each. Questions? Okay. Okay, yes, you're welcome, Naraya. Yeah, I don't know why this is, it did this last week, but it wasn't as bad. This week is bad. And I don't know, again, like Patrick said, if it's because people are in and out or what's going on. But what I will do is, yes, have a good night, Naraya. And I'm probably going to call it a night as well, because we are having connection issues. So again, if anyone has any last minute questions, you can place your questions here when you watch I think when after it records the stream, it recorded on ground tutoring session that I had yesterday, which is very detailed. That one is very detailed. So if you want to take a look at that, it's on Blackboard for you. Okay. So it looks like that's about it. Sorry about the streaming. I'm so sorry. I'm trying. Every time I try to find a different platform,